Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video, GGG has pulled a fast one on us and added some new Tainted currency orbs on top of the socket modifying ones they've already revealed. So this doesn't seem like it was planned because they were pretty adamant that they were only modifying sockets in the trailer, but here we are with Tainted Exalted Orbs. So the interesting thing about the Tainted Exalted Orb is that it's one of 9 Tainted currencies. So we know 3 that we already had, and then Exalts make 4. We can assume there's going to be Chaos Orbs, so there's another 4 mystery ones, which we have no idea about. Probably Divines will be in them, so 3 additional. Does that mean we're going to get a Tainted Mirror? We'll have to see. But what are these going to be used for primarily? Well, first of all, we need to read the item because it has some differences to a normal Exalted Orb. So, unpredictably adds or removes a modifier on a corrupted rare item. So, unlike a normal Exalted Orb, this has the opportunity to both add and remove, as well as the traditional just adding. So, this is quite a big difference. It serves as both an Exalted Orb and an Annulment Orb. And the way that it's worded does sound a little bit like it can remove any modifier, so maybe even the implicits. We're not sure. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, is that, you can manipulate items fairly heavily in Path of Exile. So let's say that you have a 6-mod corrupted item, and you want to, use the Exalted Orb. It can only remove if you've got, like, max mods, because, it's not able to add an additional one, unless there's some sort of shenanigans going on. So there is a little bit of determinism baked into this item, and that could be quite interesting. But let's get into the real uses of the Tainted Exalted Orb, because I think that there's definitely some very powerful use cases. So, we need to take a look at one of the new uniques in 3.16 to see it. So the Strangle Gasp Onyx Amulet is an amulet which can be anointed 4 times instead of 1, so 3 additional. Okay, so that's pretty good by itself, but the real juice, which a lot of people have already pointed out, is that you can corrupt the amulet and it'll keep the 4 anointments, even if it bricks. Giving you a scenario in which you could have, a 4 anoint amulet with 6 rare modifiers on it. Maybe get a bit of life, resist, multi. But if you double corrupt it, well, now it's getting interesting. You have a chance at getting an influence on it as well when it bricks, which is incredibly strong because now suddenly you can have a 4 anoint amulet with influence modifiers like +1 to physical gems or something like that, and that's really strong. Now the downside of this was that okay, so you had to corrupt it, it had to brick, and then it had to basically give you the influence you want, and then it needed to actually roll the influence modifier, which would have been insanely hard. Well, enter the new currencies. These things are going to allow you to basically manipulate the corrupted amulet and basically force, as long as you have the right influence, the modifiers you want. Meaning the Strangle Gasp just got way, way more powerful and the possibilities just expanded immensely. Now, of course, Strangle Gasp isn't the only unique which has this line. There is also other Blight uniques like Breath Stealer, the helmet, and the boots, as well as the chest. So there is quite an array of items here, which you can corrupt and then modify with these new corrupted items, corrupted currencies, to get exactly the item you want. Obviously, it's going to be quite expensive, but then you have 2 anointments. And that's like crazy. Obviously getting anointment on all of your pieces here, if you wanted, could be incredibly powerful, as long as you're willing to pay the price of the corrupted currencies. So overall, I think that these are a fantastic addition to the game. I think that the use cases are reasonably niche, with that being, primarily the Blight uniques, as well as maybe some unknown things. Obviously if you're able to re-roll a Scourge mod, or if there's some sort of way to cleanse Scourge mods, that's going to be incredibly coveted. We just don't know, and it's just one more thing to be excited about in Scourge. But the real thing which is interesting about this is that it adds a ton of value just to the Scourge mechanic itself. So previously we kind of had the Scourge and the Scourging mechanic of obviously crafting, that's on the level, if not exceeding that of Synthesis's power level. Very, very strong. But then that was pretty much all it had for its primary reward. Well, we also had the fusings, the chromes, and the jewelers. But this is actually a very, very high identity reward that is going to be exclusive to Scourge, and it is very, very powerful. So the rewards just keep stacking up. Scourge just looks more and more powerful. Hope you guys enjoyed this short little video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.